Station of Future Radio. Hey, I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Monday, December 21st, 2020, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing well today. It is the Winter Solstice, shortest day of the year, longest night of the year, December 21st. And we know that starting on December 25th, you have an increased amount of sunlight. And December 25th in ancient times was known as the birth date of the Son of God, not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. All right. So we'll talk some about the winter solstice. I guess maybe I should have prefaced it with my disclaimer. I may say some things that are outside the circumference of your own awareness. Just because you disagree with them or don't like them does not mean they are not true. Or maybe if you haven't heard them before, does not mean that they are not true. Just means you have to do some research to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so we'll talk some about the winter solstice. And then also, I posted an article today about a statue of General Robert E. Lee that was removed in Virginia. And this got a huge response and a lot of comments, a number of articles written about it. It got about 1,400 likes on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network. So we're going to talk some about that. Robert E. Lee statue removed from U.S. Capitol. Robert E. Lee statue removed from U.S. Capitol. And you're going to have a governor. It was a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. It's been removed from the United States Capitol, and Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announced it on Monday, December 21st. And the statue is going to be replaced by a statue of Barbara Johns, who was a African-American woman who in 1951, when she was 16 years old, led a student strike for equal education at a high school there in Virginia. Okay, so we'll talk some about that. On Friday, December 18th, I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered. I'm usually on each Friday as a panelist. And one of the topics we discussed was Dionne Warwick. And Dionne Warwick is on Twitter. She's been tweeting. She's been talking to other celebrities and talking about current events, things like this. And she was a guest on Roland Martin Unfiltered. So the panelists, myself included, got a chance to talk to her, ask her questions. So we're going to share the exchange that happened between myself and the one and only Miss Dionne Warwick, whose birthday was December 12th. Okay, so she turned 80 years old. So we talked about that here on this show. Gave her a birthday shout out. Now, today is also the birth date of one Samuel Foulmouth Jackson. Okay, Samuel L. Jackson, whose movies are the largest grossing movies in Hollywood. We posted about this today. And Samuel L. Jackson, he has such memorable roles, but most recently he's portraying Nick Fury in the Avengers movies, the Marvel Universe movies. So Samuel L. Jackson, he turned 72 today, born December 21st, 1948. Okay, he turned 72, and we know that the one and only Miss Cicely Tyson had a birth date as well a couple of days ago, and we posted about that also. All right, so we'll talk about that. And then the House of Representatives passed a coronavirus bill, a $900 billion coronavirus bill. And it has to pass the U.S. Senate. Okay, so this is just a down payment, as many Democrats are referring to it as. If you remember back in mid-May 2020, Democrats in the House of Representatives passed a $3.4 trillion HEROES Act, $3.4 trillion HEROES Act. Okay. And that was supposed to be the next coronavirus bill, but it died in the Senate, as many bills that pass in the House do. They're blocked by Moscow Mitch McConnell, and they die in the Senate. So we'll talk a little bit about this. House passes COVID relief bill to provide nearly $900 billion in aid to struggling Americans. The stimulus check is only $600, but there's some other good things in the bill. But this is just a down payment. Americans need a lot more than this. Many states are going to need federal assistance. Many states are going to need a bailout also because of the amount of money that they've had to pay out in unemployment insurance. And because of many states' constitutions, they can't run a deficit like the federal government can. Okay. So we'll talk some about that. Some of the chaos, some of the craziness with the Trump administration, we'll probably get to on Tuesday night. It's been a very busy day. And I don't want to bombard you with a lot of nonsense coming from the Trump administration. We'll try to deal with this some, but it's all I can say is January 20th, 2020 cannot come soon enough, because Kook attorney Sidney Powell and others were back at the White House today, and we know on Friday there was a big meeting and at the White House, and Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, who pleaded guilty in federal court and got a presidential pardon from unindicted co-conspirator Donald Trump. Unindicted co-conspirator number one, Donald Trump, floated the idea of declaring martial law and seizing the voting machines in battleground states that Trump lost. Not battleground states Trump won, not any states that Trump won, just the states that Trump lost, and to force an election again in those states. Just nonsense. Now, I want people to keep in mind that this is the same guy that President Barack Obama told Donald Trump don't hire, because President Barack Obama told Donald Trump, I had to fire Lieutenant General Michael Flynn and don't hire him. And Trump hired him anyway. Okay. Yeah. So this is the type of nonsense that's going on right now. We saw that, I posted an article earlier today. We saw that outgoing Attorney General William Barr said that there was no, he talked about that there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud, no reason to, how do you phrase it? Let me pull this up here. Had to do with special counsel. We'll talk a little bit about that. He's showing some backbone as he's leaving the White House. Okay. There was a story from face-to-faceafrica.com we did not get a chance to talk about on our Sunday night show. And I said we would talk about it here. That deals with actress Cynthia Erivo. Okay. She's going to star in and produce a film about an enslaved Yoruba girl, Yoruba in Nigeria, who became a gift to the Queen of England, Okay, we're going to talk some about that story. We have some other topics that we're going to get to the rest of the week, and I'm going to do some special broadcasts on some of these topics also that we may run out of time for here on the show. All right, so on the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man's thoughts, you can control the circumference of his actions, or a woman's actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Now, we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We deal with current events and history and politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship. relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Also visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. If you'd like to stop for information, you can donate to the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, then also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show, paypal.me/the AHN Show. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can also sign up for our email newsletter there. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, to 22828. Or at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Okay, I know we're coming up here on the break. Just a minute here. Calling number is 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. Let's look at the... Okay, hold on just a second here. We've got I put up the article here, Attorney General William Barr. Come back from the break. We'll talk about the Winter Solstice when we come back here break. And then also is just coming on. Feds have obtaining Rudy's electronic communications. NBC News is reporting this. Feds have discussed making a legal request for Mayor Rudy Giuliani's electronic communications, say Tuesdays. Federal investigation of the president's personal lawyer is ongoing, said is familiar with the matter, with one saying it is quote unquote it is very active. Now Rudy will probably get a pardon before Trump leaves the White House, but pardon doesn't from state charges. A pardon does not protect him from state charges, so he needs to watch out. Okay. There was I wanted to pull up the article here from CNN. We'll go to that in just a second. Also, the news, today's birth date of Betty Wright, born December 21st, 1950. Soul and R&B songwriter and background vocal. Her professional career in the 1960s as a teenager, Betty Wright rose in the 1970s with hits such as Clean Up Woman and Tonight Is the Night. Betty Wright was also prominent in her youth register. Now, Betty passed away early this year from cancer of 2020. Home in Miami, she would have been 67 years old. So happy birthday, right? And then also today is the birth date of the woman who was at one point the fastest in the world. Flo Jo, Florence Goyner, was born December 21st, 1959. And I mean, she was a phenomenon. She had fashion. I remember her on 227. She was well. She is the fastest time. The world's record in 1998 for both the 100 and 200 still stand. During the election, she became a popular figure in international track and field because of her record-setting and flashy personal style. In February 1989, she abruptly retired. After her retirement from athletics, Florence Griffith Joyner remained a popular cultural figure through endorsement deals, acting, and designing. U.S. Track and Field inducted her into the Hall of Fame in 1995. Sadly, she passed away in 1998 at the age of 38. She had an epileptic seizure while she was asleep and died in her sleep. Okay, so Florence Griffith Joyner would have been 61 years old today. This comes courtesy of Soul TV. We're going to break. You listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation Future Radio. I'm Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes. And we have a new advertiser. It is blackbusinesstee.com. blackbusinesstee.com. Keep your business in the black and out of the red. Mind your black business. Know your numbers and plan strategically. Dr. Sherry Henderson can help you with this. Visit the website blackbusinesstee.com. Support black business, encourage, patronize, and uplift one another. They have T-shirts. They have all type of apparel to support African-American owned businesses. Currently sold in Detroit, Atlanta, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Proceeds return to the Black community. Visit blackbusinesstea.com for more information. Visit 4glossygirls.com. That's the number 4glossygirls.com, and follow them on Instagram at 4glossygirls. Intuitive Design Clothes is an online accessory that sells one-of-a-kind statement pieces for men, and they also specialize in fashion consultations, closet organization, and decorating small spaces. Are you looking for a statement piece for a special year, or would you like to add some select pieces to your ensemble of accessories? If you're looking for something, definitely contact Kathy Norman, owner and CEO of Intuitive Design Clothing. Visit their website, intuitivedesignClothing.com. That's intuitivedesignClothing.com, and you can email her at info@intuitivedesign.com. Intuitive Design Clothing is where every entrance is a Soul Natural Beauty Products offers organic, plant-based and hair care products that will rejuvenate skin and naturally grow and thicken hair. Their whipped butter can heal or restore damaged skin cells to prevent hyperpigmentation and skin breakouts. All products are made with organic plant-based ingredients. Their maximum hair growth oil is fortified with organic herbal extracts and undeniably proves that Mother Nature knows best. It thickens, lengthens, softens, and conditions all types of. They even guarantee improvement within 90 days or a full refund. Their all-natural 24-hour deodorant leaves the body smelling fresh without sweating for up to 24 hours. It does not stain fabric, goes on smoothly, and has a refreshing lavender and frankincense aroma. It can be used by men, women, and even children. Place your order at soulnaturalbeauty.com. That's soulnaturalbeauty.com, and follow them on at Soul Natural Products.
Do you have an idea or business that requires app development or thinking of moving your IT resources to the cloud? We have postpaid and profit-sharing plans for unique ideas or profitable businesses. Who can take advantage of this unique program? Entrepreneurs with unique ideas, startups, small to medium businesses. Contact us 267-209-0352.
Visit nomadicsystems.net, nomadicsystems.net today. Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 9:10 a.m. Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Monday, December 21st, 2020, and it is the Winter Solstice as well. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. Okay, so let's go to this information here dealing with the Winter Solstice. Then we'll go to the Dionne Warwick story, and we'll get to some of these other topics here. So you may have seen articles today dealing with the Winter Solstice. Now, when I say may go outside, this accomplishes some people's awareness. Just because you disagree with it or don't like it or never heard it before does not mean it's not true. It just means you have to do some research to really understand what I'm talking about. So CNN.com has a good article, and I read articles each year dealing with the Winter Solstice. I've done a 3-hour presentation called Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice and the History of Christmas. Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice and the History of Christmas is available at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. And it's a 3-hour lecture, so we get deep into this history and the origins of Christmas and astronomy, the Winter Solstice, things like that. All of this is connected. Okay, all of this is connected. And that presentation is on DVD and digital download. Okay, that's available at HistoryNetwork.com. So if we look at this article here from CNN.com today, Business Insider had one also. A number of different outlets had them. Winter Solstice 2020, the shortest day is long on ancient pagan traditions. The shortest day is long on ancient pagan traditions. Okay, now don't let the word pagan scare you. All right. Uh, it doesn't mean necessarily something negative. Now, for 6 months, the days have grown shorter and the nights have grown longer in the northern hemisphere. But that's about to reverse itself. Winter Solstice 2020, the shortest day of the year and the official start of winter is on Monday, December 21st. So all this deals with astronomy. Okay. How it all works has fascinated people for thousands of years. First they look at the science of this. Now, the science and timing behind winter solstice. In solstice basically means sun stands still. On the winter solstice, the sun enters into its lowest point of the year, and then it appears to not move for 3 days. And then on December 25th, it moves 1 degree northward, and that marks an increase each subsequent day in the amount of sunlight. And December 25th in ancient times was known as the birth date of the Son of God, not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. Now, the winter solstice marks the shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere when the sun appears at its most southerly position, at its lowest point, its most southerly position, directly overhead at the fairway Tropic of Capricorn. The situation is in reverse in the southern hemisphere. There, the December solstice marks the longest day of the year and the beginning of summer in places such as Argentina, Australia, and in South Africa. Okay, so when does this exactly occur? The solstice usually, but not always, takes place on December 21st. So it can take place on December 20th, December 21st, or early in the morning on December 22nd. The time that the solstice occurs and the day itself shifts because the solar year, the time it takes the sun to reappear in the same spot as seen from Earth, does not exactly match up to our calendar year. Okay. Now, so our calendar year is based upon how long, when we look at the Gregorian calendar, is based upon how long it takes the Earth to rotate around the sun one time. Okay. It takes the Earth, it takes the Earth 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and approximately 46 seconds. Okay, so that's what the Gregorian calendar is based upon, the 365 1/4 days each year. And then every fourth year you add 1 full day, a leap year, to balance things out. So that's based upon how long it takes the Earth to rotate around the sun. Okay, so it takes 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and about 46 seconds. Some sources say 45.51 seconds. And the Gregorian calendar was introduced in 1582 by Pope Gregory XIII. Okay, not to make this a deep history lesson. I don't want to get too deep into this for radio, but the reason why they're introducing the Gregorian calendar is because they're trying to recalculate when to celebrate Easter. Because as we celebrate Easter today, Easter is celebrated the first Sunday. As we celebrate Easter today, Easter is celebrated on the first, following the first moon, following the equinox. Okay, what's take place further and further from what we call the vernal equinox. All right, and they're trying to recalculate when to celebrate Easter. So a new calendar is introduced so that the celebration of Easter is closer to what's known as the vernal equinox, which marks the first day of spring. that determination to come up with a new calendar and to change when Easter celebrated, that was one of the results of what's known as the Third Council of Trent of 1563 AD. The Third Council of Trent, Trent, of 1563 AD. And this is one of those 21 or so ecumenical councils that take place from 325 AD up until around 1870 that shape the way people practice Christianity and celebrate Christianity and what they believe. Okay. And that goes back with the first ecumenical council in 325 AD, the first council of Nicaea. All right. I'm not trying to get too deep into this right now. I just skimming the surface. But research the first council of Trent, the third council of Trent, Trent of 1563 AD. All right. So, when we look at if we go back and look at the winter solstice here, so the solstice usually, but not always, takes place on December 21st. The time that the solstice occurs and the day itself shifts because the solar year, the time it takes for the sun to reappear in the same spot as seen from Earth, does not exactly match up to our calendar year. If you want to be super precise in your observations, the exact time of the 2020 winter solstice will be 10:02 10:02 Universal Time on Monday, and it goes through and gives some different times in different countries that it takes place. Okay. So let me scroll down here. So what causes the winter solstice to happen? So because the Earth is tilted on its rotational axis, we experience seasons here on Earth. Okay. Because the Earth is tilted on its rotational axis, we experience different seasons: spring, fall, winter. It's hotter in spring. Okay. It's hotter in summer, colder in winter. Okay. It deals with the position of the sun and it deals with the position of the Earth in relationship to the sun. Now, as the Earth moves around the sun, each hemisphere experiences winter when it's tilted away from the sun. Okay. So it's tilted away from the sun. The northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. So it's experiences winter because it's colder. Closer to the sun, it's summer. It's pretty simple. Okay. When it's tilted away from the sun, in summer, when it's tilted toward the sun. All right. Now, what other seasonal transitions do we mark? Because, sometimes people say, oh, well, that's that astrological hocus pocus stuff. That's astronomy and, that's the devil and things like that. Right. So when we look at the equinoxes, okay, both spring and fall equinoxes occur when the sun's rays are directly over the equator. On those 2 days, everyone has an equal length of day and night. The summer solstice, okay, which is June 20th, June 21st, okay, which marks the first day of summer. The summer solstice is when the sun rays are farthest north over the Tropic of Cancer, giving us our longest day of the year and the official start of summer in the northern hemisphere. Now, winter solstice traditions and celebrations. Winter solstice traditions and celebrations. So this ties into history. Now, I'm not going to belabor this now because I've done a 3-hour lecture on it, and this is only a 1-hour show. So and you can't see what I'm talking about here. So I'm not going to get too deep into this, but just to skim the surface so to do more research. It's no surprise many cultures and religions celebrate a religion, whether it be Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or what are referred to as pagan festivals. Now, the term pagan doesn't necessarily mean something negative. It just means something basically indigenous to a group of people, or it could refer to a rural district. It could refer to something that we would consider to be country, like you have like country cousins or relatives down in Alabama or in the South, and you say the way they do things is backwards or like that, right? Or something, like, wait, it's Tony, you still eating chicken? Whether it's with the return survival tended on a precise knowledge of cycles mark these celebrations symbolize the opportunity for renewal, a shedding of bad habits and negative feelings, and an embracing of hope amid darkness as the days once again begin to grow longer. Many of the ancient symbols and ceremonies of the winter solstice live on today or have been incorporated into newer traditions. So they list a few of them. Saturnalia, the Roman festival of Saturnalia. In ancient Rome, Saturnalia began on December 17th and lasted for 7 days. This was an ancient Roman festival. It honored Saturn, the Roman deity or Roman god of agriculture. The people enjoyed carnival-like festivities resembling modern-day Mardi Gras celebrations and even delayed their war making. Saturnalia continued into the 3rd and 4th centuries AD. As the Roman Empire came under Christian influence and eventual Christian rule, some of the festival's customs were melded into celebrations surrounding Christmas and the New Year. You mean there was a fusion of old traditions and new traditions? Stonehenge, the United Kingdom's most famous site for solstice celebrations, is Stonehenge. On the winter solstice, visitors traditionally have had opportunity to enter the towering, mysterious stone circle for a sunrise ceremony run by local quote-unquote pagan and druid groups, the Druids. Okay. And the Druids are dealing with a watered down version of teachings coming out of ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, in-person celebrations have been canceled this year at Stonehenge, but the English Heritage Society has set it up so you can live stream the sunrise from Stonehenge. Okay. Then let's see here. They talk about the Christmas star. Okay, the Christmas star, and they talk about Saturn and Jupiter. Now, on the night of December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn will appear so closely aligned in our sky that they will look like a double planet. This close approach is called a conjunction. Now, you may have seen that on social media. It's probably a trending topic on social media, on Twitter today. Conjunction. Okay. Now, some people may have seen conjunction and thought they were talking about Schoolhouse Rock. Lolly, lolly, get your adverbs here. Conjunction, function, and all that. No, not that type of conjunction. Schoolhouse Rock was cool, but this is a different type of conjunction. As it's happening just in time for Christmas, there's some people who don't know what Schoolhouse Rock was. ABC Saturday morning. Okay. I'm a Bill on Capitol Hill. Schoolhouse Rock. Google Schoolhouse Rock. Okay. As it's happening just in time for Christmas, many are giving it the nickname of the Christmas star. Quote, you'd have to go all the way back to just before dawn on March 4th in the year 1226 AD, 1226 AD, to see a closer alignment between these objects visible in the night sky, end quote, wrote astronomer Patrick Hartigan, a professor of physics and astronomy at Rice University in Houston, Texas. The solstice and the Christmas star will give a coronavirus weary world two potent symbols of hope and reminders of a universe that marches to its own beat. No virus can stop. No virus can stop. Okay, not even the Trump virus. So check out this article here from, you can read it in its entirety. You can read the rest of it from CNN.com. Winter Solstice 2020. The shortest day is long on ancient pagan traditions. All right, don't let the word pagan, don't let that word pagan scare you. All right. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. Okay, so I don't want to go too deep into this information, especially when it's like information I can't show you. But in the as before, and it is from the just to show you the comparison here and show you how all this is connected. It's from it's a book called The Life of Christ, Rediscovering How His Life, Death, and Resurrection Changed the World. Now, this is from the American Bible Society, put out by Time Life Books. I think it was Time Home Entertainment Books. Right? You know, I was up late one night, like I am often, and I was you see the commercial, the infomercial they had. So this stuff, right? African American music, and I sat back and I'm looking at, you know, all these artists and things like this, and I'm like, you know, we don't own any of the music, or a lot of it we don't own. A lot of these artists are dead, and they're still selling their music, making money off of them, and they're dead, and we don't own a lot of this stuff. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. And then, in one way, it does, understand the music industry and white supremacy and racism, but it still doesn't make any sense, you know. So, all right, but very quickly here on page 55. Now, this is the 2011 edition of dealing with the life of Christ from the American Bible Society, and on page 55, it talks about how. On page 55, we'll go to the phone lines in just a minute here. On page 55, it talks about how we really don't know the birth date of it says why December 25th? Why December 25th? We don't know the actual date of Jesus' birth, but it most likely wasn't on December 25th. Now, most people that study Christianity know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, because nowhere in the Bible, now this may go outside the circumference of some people's awareness, but nowhere in the biblical text does it state that Jesus the Christ was born on December 25th. Okay, most people understand that, right? But it says in Christianity's early days, people debated when to celebrate Jesus' birthday. Okay, some Christians were against celebrating the birthday at all because they didn't want Jesus compared to Pharaoh or Herod. Okay, now they ain't say which Pharaoh, which is a whole nother discussion. Or Nasubiti, because Nasubiti would term that we would have used in ancient Egypt. They didn't want Jesus to be compared to Pharaoh or Herod, whose birthdays were. But in the 4th century AD, Pope Julius I made it official. Christ's birth would be celebrated on December 25th. Christ's birth would be celebrated on December 25th. Now, December 25th was already considered the birthday of the sun, the sun. Okay, or the Son of God, not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. Using the technology available at the time, ancient astronomers observed that on December 25th, the days of the year started getting longer again. They recognized December 25th, they recognized the date as the winter solstice, when the sun is born again each year. When the sun is born again each year. So once again, like I said, all this is connected. Okay, this is why you have to understand a chronology of history. All of this is connected. And when we look at the Helios Biblos, the Sun Book, or the Holy Bible coming from the Greek Helios Biblos, you're dealing with not to get too deep into this, seriously, just not to get too deep in this, but you're dealing with stories that deal with the travel of the S-U-N, the sun, throughout the 12 constellations. If you read Christianity Before Christ by Dr. John G. Jackson, he breaks this down in this book. Okay, so when you actually understand this, many of these stories are a reinterpretation or retelling of much older stories coming out of ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, Sumer, many ancient civilizations. So you can use the Helios Biblos, and if you make a long story short, if you understand history and the origins of a lot of these stories, they take you right back to ancient Africa. If you actually understand where this comes from, this takes you right back to ancient Africa, right back to ancient Kemet, right back to the Nile Valley region of Africa. If you read Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization by Tony Browder, this helps to connect the dots. Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization by Tony Browder. You read Christianity Before Christ by Dr. John G. Jackson. This book right here. Now, this is an old copy. This is from like 94 or something like that when I got this one. John G. Jackson. This is, I got this December 30th, 94. New Year's Eve, 1994. Christianity Before Christ by Dr. John G. Jackson. You can read Robin Walker is a brilliant historian. Blacks and Religion, Volume 1. What did Africa contribute to the origin of religion? The Equinox and the Real Story Behind Easter. Robin Walker, he's in Hidden Colors 4. Robin Walker lives in London or the UK. He's a brilliant historian. And then, so you check those out. And then Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization by Tony Browder. You can look at, and even this book here, this helps connect the dots. This is, so for my lecture that I do, Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas, this is one of my sources, Christmas Miscellany by Jonathan Green. Everything you always wanted to know about Christmas Miscellany. All of this is connected. Okay. And then when we deal with center class, who is center class is Dutch for Saint Nicholas, and he was this religious figure that wore red and white and had a long white beard. Okay. And is the inspiration of that had the children, is the inspiration of the secular figure that becomes created here in this land that we call Santa Claus, coming from center class, which was Dutch, which means Saint Nicholas. And Saint Nicholas was a real saint, third, fourth century bishop who becomes a saint. And when you study Saint Nicholas, he was an African man. He was a man of African descent. So all this history is connected. And then when we deal with center class, who we talked about when we dealt with Zwarte Piet, Black Pete. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about Black Pete, Zwarte Piet, and in the Netherlands and in Holland, this whole festival that they have where these Europeans put on blackface and Afro wigs and oftentimes gold hoop earrings and they portray this fictitious character called Black Pete, Zwarte Piet, who was a Moor. Then this gets into the history of the Moors invading Europe and conquering parts of Europe and being defeated, and many of the Moors being enslaved. All this history is connected. That's why you have to understand a chronology of the history. Okay, so if we go back quickly here, page 55, 2011 edition of The Life of Christ from the American Bible Society. The December 25th was already considered the birthday of the sun. Using the technology available at the time, ancient astronomers observed that on December 25th, the days started getting longer again. They recognized the date as the winter solstice, when the sun is born again each year. The Romans celebrated the birthday of the deity or god Sol Invictus, S-O-L, Sol, which means sun, okay, as in solstice, sun stands still. That's literally what solstice means, is Latin. So Sol Invictus means unconquered sun, and that was celebrated on December 25th. This day was also recognized as the day, as the birthday of Mithra. Mithra, M-I-T-H-R-A, was a sun deity of the ancient Persians, and also as the birthday of Attis, A-T-T-I-S, an agricultural deity worshipped in Asia Minor. By choosing December 25th, the church avoided upsetting the masses. No one wanted their festivals canceled, so the Christian church simply combined this new Christian holiday with quote unquote pagan traditions. Well, that's what the article from CNN talks about. And then if you go to history.com, the official website of the History Channel, look up Christmas, they have excerpts of a whole documentary they have on this, and it deals with the origins of Christmas. It talks about the First Council of Nicaea, all this stuff. And it talks about these pre-Christian traditions, many of them that get infused into the celebration of Christmas. So all of this is connected. All right. Very quickly. And if you'd like this type of information, also, you can donate to the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me /the AHN Show, paypal.me /the AHN Show, and at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. So being there, especially being that we're here 6 days a week as opposed to 1 day a week, that really helps us to stay on the air, keep broadcasting, pay the bills, do the research, etc. And don't forget, I have a 3-hour presentation, 3-hour lecture I did. It's a visual lecture, so I'm doing a PowerPoint presentation, everything, where I go deep into this information. There were hundreds of years of history. It's called Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas is in DVD format and on digital download. Right now at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. I think it's $15 on DVD. Right now at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. All right, let's go quickly to the phone line. Sorry for that long explanation. Let's go to John, line 1. John, we got about a minute. Thanks for calling. Tell us where you're calling from, John. Do we have John there? If we don't have John, let's go to line 2.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, who we have here?
Rod.
Hey, Rod. Okay, Rod on line 2. Hey, Rod, which city you calling from, Rod?
Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Okay, Benton Harbor, Michigan. Okay, go ahead with your question or comment.
Hey, first, just real quick, brother. I appreciate your presentation tonight, being a man of God. We know that you've been a brother history. We know that history says that they brought the baby Yeshua and took him to Egypt to hide him, and we know that you can't hide nobody, in a place that you stick out at. So we know that in the place they took him in Egypt,
right,
to the black folks.
he would have blended in, right, right.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's a part of another lesson, and I'm sure in the long list of lessons that you teach.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm sorry to get off cuff and to get off subject tonight, but it's really a shame and revolts against democracy and the history of this country. And it may be, I've heard you mention a few times, and many of us, the
on the roof.
Come on the roof.
Right.
They didn't like it when Malcolm said it, but he was right on point.
Right. It's karma.
He's trying to actually use the military. Now we know that it's good news. The military said they ain't gonna have no part of this foolishness. Right. So, but
right. The U.S. Army put out a statement because there's a tradition where the Army does not carry out unlawful acts, and the Army does not. The military does not get involved in enforcing election results or forcing a new election or something. The military doesn't get involved in stuff like that.
That's right. Now there was a gentleman on CNN about a couple hours ago said he may even try to weasel around that and try to sneak in some of that anyway. But yeah, I think that we can be confident that kind of coup is not going.
Right. No. You have even people like Governor Chris Christie and Pat Cipollone, White House counsel, who are pushing back on what Trump is talking about. Hey, look, we're out of time here, man. You call back in tomorrow night. We're on Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. to 12 midnight Eastern Standard Time. So okay, thanks. No problem. All right, peace. So for those watching us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, and our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, keep watching. We're going to keep broadcasting a little while longer. I'm going to share an excerpt from our conversation with Dionne Warwick, and we'll share this on 9-10 a.m. tomorrow night. We're out of time here. So remember, right knowledge corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night. Stay tuned for Pastor Greg Davis. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Peace. All right, stand by, everybody. All right, let me disconnect that call. We're going to be here a little while longer because I am tired. It's been a long day. Just a second here. Let me disconnect this call. Okay. All right, stand by. All right. Okay, how's everybody doing? African-American business owners, post the name of your business here on the thread of the broadcast. We'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. Email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. And then we have two new advertisers, Black Business Tea. Visit their website, blackbusinesstee.com. So their messages are clear and meaningful. Keep your business in the black and out of the red. Mind your black business, know your business, and plan strategically. Support black business, encourage, patronize, and uplift one another. Black Business Tea. So they have T-shirts that support African-American owned businesses. They're currently sold in Detroit, Atlanta, Chicago, and Los Angeles, and proceeds are returned to the African-American community. Visit their website, Black Business Tea, T-E-E, blackbusinesstee.com for more information. You'll hear more from them as well. Okay.
Do you have an idea or business that requires app development or thinking of moving your IT resources to the cloud? We have post-paid and profit-sharing plans for unique ideas or profitable businesses. Who can take advantage of this unique program? Entrepreneurs with unique ideas, startups, small to medium businesses. Contact us 267-209-0352.
Visit nomadicsystems.net, nomadicsystems.net today.
Say
Visit 4glossygirls.com. That's the number 4glossygirls.com, and follow them on Instagram at 4glossygirls. Intuitive Design Clothes is an online accessory that sells one-of-a-kind signature pieces for and women. They all specialize in fashion consultations, closet organization, and decorating small spaces. Are you looking for a statement piece for a special fair, or would you like to add some select pieces to your ensemble of these? If you're looking for something, definitely contact Kathy Norm, owner and CEO of Intuitive Design Clothing. Visit their website, intuitivedesignClothing.com. That's intuitivedesignClothing.com, and you can email her at intuitivedesign.com. Intuitive Design is every entrance and entrance. All right, now let me try to zip through some of tomorrow night, because I wanted the Winter Solstice. We had to deal with that, and I don't want to be here too much longer. Let's see. Let's go to this interview with Dionne Warwick here. Let me pull this up. This is from Roland Martin Unfiltered. So Dionne Warwick has been in the news because of Twitter. She's on Twitter, and she's 80 years old. She turned 80 December 12th. Tweeting different celebrities, younger artists, things like that, having interesting conversations. She was on Jonathan Capehart's show on I think it was Jonathan Capehart. Was it Jonathan Capehart? I think it was Jonathan Capehart, or was it Tiffany Cross? One of MSNBC. But she was on Roland Martin Unfiltered first. Jonathan Capehart, who had her on this past weekend. And when I got a chance to ask a question, kind of dealt with some history. Okay, we're going to pull this up here. Just bear with me, because it's freezing up. Now, U.S. House of Representatives has passes a huge coronavirus relief bill. Lawmakers approved a $900 billion bill. $900 billion pandemic aid that provides $600 payments for most Americans. Congress on Monday night approved a $900 billion stimulus. Well, some people call it a rescue package as opposed to necessarily a stimulus package. Some people call it a rescue package or relief package as opposed to a stimulus package. And this bill will send billions of dollars to American households and businesses grappling with the economic and health toll of the pandemic. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said hundreds of dollars in direct payments could begin reaching individual Americans as early as next week. Now, this is just a down payment. This is a drop in the bucket for what's needed. And Republicans were obstructionists once again on this bill. This is why I'm in the Senate. A lot of Republican Senate need to be voted out of office in 2022 midterm elections. Now, the long sought relief package was part of a $2.3 trillion catch-all package that included $1.4 trillion to fund the government through the end of the year. On the 30th, it included the extension of routine tax provisions, a tax deduction for corporate meals, the establishment of 2 Smithsonian museums, a ban on surprise medical bill, restoration of Pell Grants for incarcerated students, among hundreds of other measures. This bill is like 5,500 pages. Okay. This bill is about 5,500 pages. Okay. So this is a heavy bill, and this is just a drop in the bucket of what is actually needed. All right. Now, let me go to, I want to go to this clip here. This is from Roland Martin Unfiltered from Friday, December 18th, 2020. And we were talking to Dionne Warwick. Let's go to this clip.
This, you like
one of the millennials who work for me.
You know, it's like everything else. You get to know about everything and
let me back it up here a minute. All right, stand by just a second here. All right, let's start back up. For some reason, it froze up.
Up like this, or he may have done this on purpose. I'm not.
Hold on.
What got me, people initially said, oh, this really can't be her. Did you have any friends of yours who said, Dionne, is this really you? And you had to say, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I had to put up a video letting people know, yes, it is me. And why can't I be doing this? I mean, what's to prevent me from having some fun, too?
What is it that you like about now being on Twitter and just saying what you want to say and just throwing stuff out there? What is it that you like about it?
You know, I'm getting to know some people, making new friends, finding the youngsters who are aware of me, which is very nice to know, and making new friends. And you also don't have a problem letting some folks like Wendy Williams know to mind your business and keep your name out their mouth. You got that right.
I laughed the other day when somebody asked, who told you about this? You like one of the millennials who work for me.
You know, it's like everything else. You get to know about everything and everybody. You know, and I think that my presence has kind of put a little grown-up business into tweeting. You know, it has taken on another connotation, I believe.
Do you wish you had gotten on Twitter earlier?
No, I think this is, in fact, I think COVID has had a lot to do with it too. It's taken up time and it's given me something to do, and I'm having a good time doing it.
I got a panel here. I know they have. I got each one of them going to ask a question. I know they would love to ask you a question. I'm going to start with Candace. Candace, what's your question for Dionne Warwick?
What's been your most interesting response that you've gotten from someone out there, especially in the celebrity world?
I've actually, I had a wonderful telephone conversation with Chance. We had a beautiful conversation. He's a lovely young man, and I'm so pleased to have gotten to know him. He's very conscientious. I am thrilled with the work he does. I mean, he's I said, in fact, on several occasions that Chicago should be giving him all the support and admiration that they could possibly muster for what this kid is doing with home. Hello?
Wow.
I'm just so thrilled to have gotten to know him. I really am. That's one of my new friends.
Can you tell us anything that he said?
Michael Imhotep, what's your question for... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm here.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm here. Miss Warwick, this is Michael Imhotep of the Afghan History Network. How you doing, sister?
I'm fine, honey. How are you?
I'm all right. It's good to be on with you. And first of all, happy belated birthday. Your birthday's December 12th, so happy belated birthday.
That's right. Thank you.
No problem. Hey, I saw an interview that D.L. Hughley did with you, and he asked the question about the music that you did. Do you know the way to San Jose? And the music that you did was different than a lot of music that African-American artists, R&B artists, things like that were doing at the time. How did you navigate throughout those times in that genre doing music that was different than what a lot of people were used to hearing coming from African-American, especially African-American female artists?
Well, it was the songs that were being written specifically for me by two of whom I feel are the most prolific songwriters of our time, Backrack and David. Yes. We were we literally caught the new niche out in the music industry. They were doing something that no one else was doing. So it was completely different. And I think that has a lot to say about the gravitation that people had on every side. Everybody did. Our music was for everybody.
Itself, and that's why it worked.
Always in.
Okay, there it is. Ashe.
Now, Big Carter, your question.
All right. So check out that show in its entirety from December 18th, 2020. It's on it's at Roland S. Martin on YouTube and Roland Martin on Facebook. We'll post a link here to the full show on YouTube. Going back quickly to the coronavirus bill. How's everybody doing? Everybody share this broadcast on your social media platforms. And be sure to follow us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network on Facebook. Turn on notifications so you know when we go live, and follow us on our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. And click on the bell so you know when we go live also. Okay. So if we go back and look at this bill here, there's a lot in it. It's 5,500 pages. Though the $900 billion stimulus package is half the size of the $2.2 trillion stimulus law passed in March of 2020 that provided the core of its legislative provisions, it remains one of the largest relief packages in modern American history. It will revive a supplemental unemployment benefit for millions of unemployed Americans at $300 a week for 11 weeks and provide for another round of $600 direct payments to adults and children. Quote, I expect we'll get the money out by the beginning of next week. $2,400 for a family of four. So much needed relief just in time for the holidays, end quote, said Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin on CNBC. Now, President-elect Joe Biden, who received a coronavirus vaccine on Monday with television cameras rolling, has insisted that the bill is only the beginning and that more relief, especially to state and local governments, will be coming after his inauguration next month, January 20th, 2021. Lawmakers hustled on Monday to pass the bill nearly 5,600 pages long, less than 24 hours after its completion and before virtually anyone had read it. At one point, aides struggled simply to put the measure online because of a corrupted computer file. The legislative text is likely to be one of the longest ever, and it became available only a few hours before both chambers approved the bill. It will go to Donald Trump for his signature next. But with as many as 12 million Americans set to lose access to expanded and extended unemployment benefits days after Christmas, passage was not in doubt. A number of other pandemic relief provisions are set to expire at the end of the year, and lawmakers in both chambers agreed that the approval of the $900 billion relief package was shamefully overdue. Over the summer, Speaker Nancy Pelosi of California and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin inched toward a relief package of nearly $1.8 trillion. But after a significant infusion of federal relief in April 2020, Senator Mitch McConnell, Republican of Kentucky and the majority leader, and several Senate Republicans initially balked at the prospect of another sweeping spending package, with Republicans reluctant to spend substantial taxpayer funds and mindful of remaining united before the November election, Moscow Mitch McConnell refused to indulge in anything more than a narrow $500 billion package. Okay, check out the rest of this from the updates from New York Times. Their live updates. Congress passes huge coronavirus relief bill. Congress passes huge coronavirus relief bill. Okay, and we'll post this link here also. All right. Okay, so we'll talk about this some more on Tuesday. If we look at this story dealing with the Robert E. Lee statue, NBC News has a good article on this. And we posted on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network, and it got about 1,400 likes. Robert E. Lee statue removed from U.S. Capitol. Robert E. Lee statue removed from U.S. Capitol. General Robert E. Lee, Confederate general, committed treason against the U.S. government, took up arms to fight against the U.S. during the Civil War. Right? He fought to maintain slavery. He was a slave owner also. Confederate general's image to be replaced by civil rights icon Barbara Johns, whose 1951 protest was part of Brown versus Board of Education. Now, a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee has been removed from the United States Capitol. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announced on Monday. For 111 years, the statue of General Robert E. Lee stood alongside that of the nation's first president, George Washington, another slave owner, as the state of Virginia's contribution to the National Statuary Hall. Each state is allowed 2 statues in the collection. Now, the state of Virginia plans to replace the statue of Robert E. Lee with one of civil rights icon Barbara Johns. Governor Ralph Northam in a statement said, "We should all be proud of this important step forward for our Commonwealth and our country. The Confederacy is a symbol of Virginia's racist and divisive history. The Confederacy is a symbol of Virginia's racist and divisive history, and it is past time we tell our story with images of perseverance, diversity, and inclusion. I look forward to seeing a trailblazing young woman of color represent Virginia and inclusion. I look forward to seeing a trailblazing young woman of color represent Virginia in the U.S. Capitol, where visitors will learn about Barbara John's contributions to America and be empowered to create positive change in their communities, just like she did. Confederate images do not represent who we are in Virginia," Governor Ralph Northam said. "That's why we voted unanimously to remove this statue." I'm sorry, this was Senator Louise Lucas who said this. "Confederate images do not represent who we are in Virginia. That's why we voted unanimously to remove this statue," said State Senator Louise Lucas, who chaired the Virginia commission that recommended the removal. Quote, "I am thrilled that this day has finally arrived, and I thank Governor Northam and the commission for their transformative work," end quote. Now, in 1951, 16-year-old Barbara Johns led a student strike for equal education at Robert Russa Moton High School in Farmville, Virginia. Okay, Robert Russa, R-U-S-S-A, Robert Russa Moton High School in Farmville, Virginia. Her protest gained the support of the NAACP and her case was one of the 5 cases that were consolidated into the pivotal Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas lawsuit. The Supreme Court ruling in that case declared segregation unconstitutional in 1954. Quote, when I think of Barbara Johns, I am reminded of how brave she was at such a young age. It's time for us to start singing the songs of some of the Virginians who have done great things that have gone unnoticed. This is a proud moment for our Commonwealth, and I am humbled to have been part of it, said Delegate John Ward, or Gion Ward, J-E-I-O-N, Gion, I guess it is, who sponsored legislation creating the commission. Okay, so it took down the statue there, and I think there's a few hundred more Confederate monuments and statues that need to come down also as well, because countries don't have monuments and statues honoring traitors to the Union. Okay, so this is what happens. All right. All right, how's everybody doing? Everybody share this broadcast on social media platforms. Invite your friends to tune in also. Be sure to follow us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, on YouTube, and The African History Network on Facebook, and Michael Imhotep on YouTube, IMHOTEP on YouTube. Okay. All right. Let's continue here. Let's see. Okay, the William Barr report. We grabbed the William Barr story. So I was watching this earlier today, and Attorney General William Barr, no special counsel needed on election fraud of Hunter Biden. No special counsel needed on election fraud or Hunter Biden. The Attorney General answered questions for reporters 2 days before he is set to leave office. Attorney General William Barr undercut Donald Trump's election conspiracy theories Monday, saying he would not appoint special counsels to investigate allegations of election fraud or Hunter Biden because there's no need. Now, Donald Trump has yet to concede the election, and some allies have even suggested that the federal government seize voting machines. How dumb is that? Over the weekend, Trump met with appellate lawyer Sidney Powell. She's one of the most idiotic attorneys I've seen. She's a dumbass. He met with Sidney Powell about a potential voter fraud investigation. Pressed by reporters about a special counsel investigation, voter fraud, and talk of seizing voting machines, Attorney General William Barr offered little support for any such moves. He said, I see no basis now for seizing machines by the federal government, wholesale seizure of machines by the federal government. He said, adding that he stood by his statement that there was no widespread fraud that would affect the outcome of the election. He went on to say, if I thought a special counsel at this stage was the right tool and was appropriate, I would do so. I would name one, but I haven't, and I'm not going to. Okay. Now, Donald Trump tweeted last week that Attorney General William Barr would be leaving as Attorney General 2 days before Christmas. Deputy Attorney General Jeff Rosen will serve as acting Attorney General for the final weeks of Trump's term. Okay. Now, Trump spent months arguing that there was widespread voter fraud in the election. No, there wasn't. You just lost. We don't want you. You just lost. Basically claiming that he lost because of quote unquote widespread voter fraud that doesn't exist. Attorney General William Barr, who entertained the possibility of fraud early this year, broke with Trump this month, saying there was no evidence of widespread fraud. This is why almost 60 lawsuits have been thrown out of court, because they're not providing evidence. They're making claims in press conferences, and on radio shows and on Fox News. But when they go to court, they're not claiming fraud in most of these cases, and they're not providing any evidence of fraud, especially widespread voter fraud. Okay. So check that out. We just posted that article. So check that out. Lastly, and also African American business owners, post the name of your business here on the thread of the broadcast. Email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. Customer service at africanhistorynetwork.com. We'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. We'll create a video commercial for you, no additional charge. 30-second and 60-second video commercial. It will air when we rebroadcast these shows, the video commercial, and we'll create an audio commercial, and it will be in the audio podcast of these shows also. So I saw this article from face-to-faceafrica.com. We'll probably talk about it some more tomorrow night. Cynthia Erivo to star in and produce film about enslaved Yoruba girl who became a gift to the Queen of England. This is from December 4th, 2020. Cynthia Erivo, who we saw as Harriet in the Harriet Tubman in the Harriet movie, is set to star in and produce a film about Sarah Forbes Bonetta. Sarah Forbes Bonetta, the daughter of an African chief who was captured and presented to the Queen of England as a gift in 1850. Developed by BBC Film, the upcoming film will be a celebration of Sarah, a modern, strategic, determined heroine who found a way to embrace her blackness, her Africanness, and to ultimately find love, forging a path for herself that honored both her heritage and her upbringing. Now, Benedict Cumberbatch will executive produce the two-time Oscar nominee Cynthia Erivo and Salome Williams co-producing. 33-year-old Erivo said she is excited about the upcoming project. Quote, as a Nigerian British woman, to get the opportunity to tell the story of another Nigerian British woman who until now has been erased from the history books is an honor. Quote, Miss Sarah Forbes Bonetta, Omamba Aina, A-I-N-A, is truly a passion of mine, and I'm so pleased I've been able to find partners in the incredible women, Leah Clark and Rankje, Renkje, Attoh, to tell the story and finally give her a voice. I cannot wait to dive into her story. She is indeed the forgotten princess, forgotten no more, end quote, end quote. Now, Sarah Forbes Bonetta was born into a royal West African dynasty. Bonetta, originally named Aina, A-I-N-A, was captured by King Gezo, G-E-Z-O, of Dahomey during a slave hunt war in 1848. During a slave hunt war in 1848. Her parents were killed in the war, and as a daughter of an African chief, Bonetta was kept in captivity as a state prisoner. Being the princess of the Yoruba people, she was to be presented to an important visitor or sacrificed after the death of a minister or official to become their attendant in the outside world. In June of 1850, when she was approximately 8 years old, Sarah Forbes Bonetta was rescued by Captain Frederick E. Forbes of the Royal Navy while he was visiting Dahomey as an emissary of the British government. Now, Forbes asked the king for the little girl to be given to Queen Victoria as a gift. Sarah Forbes Bonetta initially stayed with Forbes's family before being taken to Windsor Castle on November 9th, 1850. She was received by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. The Queen handed Bonetta over to the Church Missionary Society and paid for her education. Now, Sarah Forbes Bonetta, a year after, developed a cough believed to be caused by the climate of Britain. The Queen made arrangements for her to be sent to Sierra Leone for a better climate. There, Bonetta attended the female institution in Freetown, but at the age of 12, the Queen ordered Sarah to return to England, where she was placed under the charge of the Sheon family at Chatham, Scheon. Okay, check out the rest of this article from face2faceafrica.com. Cynthia Erivo to star in and produce film about an enslaved Yoruba girl who became a gift to the Queen of England. This is from December 4th, 2020, from face2faceafrica.com. All right, let me see here. I think I got through everything I was going to get to tonight. Okay, we have another new advertiser here, Key to Health and Wellness. So as owner of Key to Health and Wellness, Peggy Chavis is a health coach, a certified nutritionist, and trainer in the management of diabetes and chronic disease. Now, Peggy Chavis is offering a gift of health program that will start on January 2nd, 2021. January 2nd, 2021. People can purchase a gift certificate for a loved one or friend in lieu of shopping for a gift. And she will also be giving away two of these gift certificates for free. This is an ongoing 21-day program with a focus on achieving a healthy weight, blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, gut, and mindset. The program includes personal accountability coaching, workout programs for all levels, balanced nutrition and supplementation, tools and resources, a secret Facebook group, or optional one-on-one coaching. For more information, give her a call. Area code 804-837-7647, 804-837-7647, or follow them on Facebook at peggychavis.giftsofhealth, peggychavis.giftsofhealth on Facebook. All right. We got to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Also, you can donate to the African History. If you like this type of information, you can donate to the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App. Then also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show, paypal.me/the AHN Show. And at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Okay, all my DVD lectures are there at our website. Digital downloads. We have Ancient Kemet, the Moors, the Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. We have that bundle pack. Also, we have the Africans who were here before Columbus. The Africans who were here before Columbus. That's an 8 DVD bundle pack, which deals with the ancient African presence of in the Americas. The Africans who were here before Columbus. All right. Remember, right now is correct. Wrong behavior is not over till we win. Wakanda forever. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Peace. Visit 4glossygirls.com. That's the number 4glossygirls.com, and follow them on Instagram, 4glossy. 5 years, the Black History 101 Museum has carried on the rich legacy of the movement by showcasing original artifacts of the Black experience at college, universities, K-12 schools, corporations, conferences, and cultural events. making it the most Black History mobile edit in American history. Khalid El Hakim is the founder of the Black History 101 Museum, and he is a highly sought-after public on topics of Black history, social studies, museum studies, hip-hop relations. Dr. Khalid was named the change makers for Universal's Erase campaign, listed as one of 100 distinction for Black enterprise. He recently founded the Hip Hop Live on the campus of Western Michigan University. The Black History Mobile Museum is currently scheduled in person and virtual exhibits nationwide. For more information, please contact Al Hakim directly, 313-64197, 313-645-47. Visit their website at blackmobilemuseum.com, blackhistorymobilemuseum.com. You can also email him at b31@yahoo.com, history101@yahoo.
Melanizia is an independently Black-owned and operated company. We specialize in producing culturally and Black films and videos at me.com. Join us every Sunday nights where we screen a documentary film or Black historic presentation. That's every day evening at 7 p.m. melanizemedia.com to learn more and to register. That's MELANEYES media.com.
Sage and Apothecary creates unique looks, especially with you in mind. They use ingredients such as whole foods, herbs, and vegetables. Each product crafted offers a unique plant-based experience. Their holistic approach to self-care formulate product inventory. Now to serve our community of product supporters and offerings for the entire family. Sage and Apothecary designs over 60 different beautifully handcrafted soaps, natural toothpaste, hygiene oils, face masks, shampoos, conditioners, and so much more. Visit the website at sageandelmapothecary.com. That's sageandapothecary.com, P-O-T-A-C-A-R-Y. And find out about their coming event throughout the year. Allow Sage and Elm Apothecary to provide for all of your plant-based needs. Use promo code AHN Winter 20, AHN